shakalaka. Welcome. It's Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome to Rabbit Hole Roundtable Talks. This is,
Wanted.
and I am MeanKno. Welcome to the show. All right. So we got some fun stuff on Reddit, and Wanted has a banger. Go ahead. Take it away, bro.
This is from Am I Overreacting? That's where yours is from?
Mine is from Life Pro Tips.
Okay. Am I Overreacting? And the title is Girlfriend Told Me Not to Thank a Cashier because I shouldn't talk unless necessary? Question mark. So I'm gonna read both
Wow.
rules today so that Mino gets it and I get it, like without seeing what's coming up next. Are you gonna dye your hair today? Tomorrow. Ah, okay. Can't wait. Yeah. Have a good day, boo. And there was no reason for you to say thank you to the in the super drug. You be nice to another woman again, your balls are gone. You too, baby. And then LMAO to that message that she sent. I'm crying. I was just being polite. Do I hear excuses? I can't even say thank you to a cashier? I can't tell if you're joking. I said thank you. She served me. That peasant didn't deserve any thank you at all in the first place. I'm 200% serious. Oh, it's okay. She just didn't like you for some reason. What was the need for to thank her? Then don't think too deep about it. And yet you have to be nice to a human like that? Uh, whoa.
She had to be trolling.
You don't want to F up. Just accept, apologize, and move on, bro. You want to die? Maybe she didn't hear your thank you, or who knows? OMG. You actually defending her now? Darn. Bye. I'm not defending her. She's literally no one. Come back. Sure. I'm not jealous. It's just a bit icky if you're being nice to any random woman. I would have said thank you even if it was a man. You shouldn't if you detect a bad person. Yeah, I didn't detect it initially. My bad. And you're not white. You don't have to. Huh? I just have a habit of being polite to people. Doesn't matter the gender, right? Not like I'm gonna start flirting with other women. Voice note, voice note, voice note. I'm not a pet dog. It's not that deep. The end. So the context.
What?
More more context. We went to a store. She was buying makeup. We went to check out, and the lady, maybe in her early to mid 20s, was scanning her items. My girlfriend said she was moody, but I didn't really see any moves in her. The cashier was just doing her job, and people in customer service have it rough anyway. She wasn't saying anything rude. She just wasn't saying much of anything at all. After this cashier checks out our items, my girlfriend says thank you to her, and the girl says nothing back. Then I say thank you, and she says thank you back. Girlfriend gets annoyed that this cashier girl didn't thank her and only decided to thank me. And also mad at me for saying anything in the first place because I should have seen her mood and reacted appropriately. We're both South Asian, but I've lived in the UK my whole life, so I've always said thank you, and I'm used to being extra polite to people because that's just how it is in the UK. In the voice messages, she tells me not to talk unless necessary and to behave. Am I overreacting by thinking this is controlling behavior?
Oh my gosh.
Didn't know it was with that
There
left.
are some, dude, there's some insane people on this planet.
I can tell you.
First of all, why women, and not all women, obviously, so people just relax.
Suave, suave.
Why do women feel that they have the right to inflict harm on men?
I don't know.
Like, hey, I'll cut off your balls? Like, what kind of weird threat is that?
Yeah.
I don't know. You want to stay alive? Like, I don't like when women I don't like when anybody says stuff like that. Like, you basically threatening me because I was being nice to some, like, that's weird.
Very weird. Even if it's like defend my honor, in this case, it's like still, it's like if I don't know what happened and I just, let's say he didn't know, he just came to the register afterwards and said thank you afterwards, it would be the same thing technically because he don't know what's going on.
Yeah. And also too, like, okay, she didn't tell you thank you in reply, but then she told me, your problem isn't with me. Your problem is with her.
Yeah.
Like you taking out your frustration of her not treating you how you want to be treated on me.
Yeah.
But I didn't do anything. I think that's one issue in that. Besides the threats, is also that, and I do think it is controlling because he can't be nice to people.
You have to
That's
behave
weird.
and talk when
Yeah.
necessary. I'd have been like,
At
okay.
first, I thought this was some kind of BDSM thing. I was like, is this some kind of BDSM
Oh
like
my gosh.
sub situation?
Nah. My toxic trait is that if you threaten me, I'll say, okay, what's up? That's what happened to me literally 2 months ago. We were doing the parade. I think I talked about it already. Doing the parade. Then the community didn't like that the parade was coming or that we were putting up barriers to block cars from coming to parade. Long backstory. Fast forward. We're picking the barriers up because we were told to. And this girl pulls up in the car. Girl pulls up in the car and asks, what are we doing? I'm like, we're taking the barriers away. She's like, you better take them away. I'm like, but yeah, that's what we're doing. So she asks, are you with the city? I'm like, yeah, that's the work truck right there. No, she's, are you from the city? I'm like, yeah, the truck's right there. She's like, no, I meant where you're from. So I was like, well, your question was vague, so I couldn't answer you. So she was like, what? I was like, your question was vague, so I couldn't answer you. She's like, oh, I was about to get out this car. So I say, get out then. Then she just starts laughing. She's like, I'm 5 foot, but I'm feisty. So I was like, well, then get out. And then we just went on talking, and it was actually a good interaction after that. But like initially, it's like, if you're gonna talk, let's go. I can't back down. I don't know why.
And that's the next thing too. Why women always feel like they could take people on when they're so small? Relax. You miss. I ain't trying to underestimate anybody.
True.
Unless you be a black belt in something. But
Maybe.
miss, relax.
Why you tell me how tall you are from the jump? Let me feel like you could do so. I only have one arm, but let's box. Wait, what?
Right. I in this wheelchair, but I bet you I dunk this basket. What are you talking about?
Oh man. What would you do in a situation though?
Old me would have probably ended the conversation a lot sooner because I'd have been like, I'd have said like, okay, and I just stopped talking. New me would have just been like, I think we should break up because I'd be like, this is ridiculous.
That's fair. Very fair.
Or I would be like, let's talk in person when you get home
Yeah.
because maybe I'm not understanding where you're coming from or something like
No,
that.
no, no. But I understand, but no. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. It is. But I would have done it a lot sooner. Like when he asked, "Are you serious?" At that point, if she said 200%, I'd have been like, "You can't be serious. Let's just talk when you get home."
Oh boy.
All right, guys, give us your thoughts in the comments section because that's insane. And while you're at it, I have some life pro tips for y'all. So not as hilarious, not as fun, but maybe it could help. Let me just read this real quick to make sure this ain't some kind of scam thing. Because you know people be like, here's a life pro tip how to save money. Buy this product that I'm selling. Let me just
Yeah.
make sure it's not that. Nah, it is one of those kind of things. They're
Oh.
giving links and stuff. I don't trust those links. But I'll read it anyway, just in case. Because I might try some of these links, even though I literally think
Why?
I'm going to try some of them.
Oh
All
boy.
right, here we go. I'm a massive saving nerd. Here are the stupidest money mistakes I see people make. Overpaying for car insurance. The average American saves a whopping $410 a year when they switch auto insurance carriers, sometimes significantly more than that. I save $1,300 a year. So the reason why is because some offer discount prices to new customers when they switch. The only problem with that is one, when you switch, they offer a discount, but it's temporary. It's not like a permanent discount,
Yeah.
which means if you're not paying attention, then the price suddenly raises, and next thing you know, you actually pay more car insurance than previously, or about the same anyway. The other thing is, it's a lot of time and energy to do all this work trying to switch. Like, who has time for that?
Them
That's why,
apparently.
yeah, them. That's why every company knows it's cheaper, less expensive for them to just keep a customer than to lose a customer and get a new one.
Yeah.
So, eh, maybe. I mean, let me keep reading. It takes 30 seconds. They use two websites. I'm not going to say them. I'll just post the link in the chat if you guys want to see it. And some people suggest switching every 6 months. That's a little overkill to him or her. They think once a year should be fine. I think that's true, actually. I do agree with that.
But
I do agree with that.
every 6 months is once a year, no? Technically,
No,
it'll be
no, because
like
if you do
twice.
January and then again and June, that's twice a year.
Mm. Okay.
I'll say this. I remember long ago reading somewhere that you're supposed to every once a year you're supposed to go and negotiate everything that you pay for, or at least attempt to. This kind of like remind me of that in a way.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But instead of negotiating, you just switch completely.
But I think
All right.
if they have like a retention program, it's the same thing, right? Like they try and keep you, so
Yeah,
they probably lower some stuff.
that's one thing you could do too. You could be like, I'm gonna switch to this other company because it's cheaper. Do you guys have anything to offer me so I could stay?
Yep. Yep.
And boom. I think my uncle. I remember my uncles talking about that when I was young. Him doing that with his phone company.
Yep.
All right. Next one. Overpaying when you shop online. I don't want to read that one. All right. Next one. Dealing with debt on your own. If you got 10K plus in unsecured debt, like credit cards, medical bills, etc., you can ask a debt. Nope, I don't agree with that either. Well, I don't know. What are your thoughts on like getting a taking a loan to pay off your debt?
What I did was I got a debt consolidation company to take it all for me, and they just handle everything. So I just pay them, and then they allocate all the money. They negotiate with the companies to get lower rates, and then it's just been easier that way. That way, I don't have to pay like 10, 10 people every month. It's just paying one person, and then they pay everybody out. I've actually
Okay,
closed a couple of the accounts that I had open that I probably would never have gotten closed otherwise.
that's that's cool.
Yeah.
What's the name of the thing, if you don't mind sharing,
Beyond Finance.
for anybody out there listening who might be in debt?
It's called Beyond Finance.
Okay, cool. Let me see if they have it here. Actually, they have something that I think could be interesting. They said um, they actually did mention this. Maybe I should have finished reading it. Uh, you can ask a debt relief company to come in and negotiate it for you. You typically will save around 23% on average after fees.
I think
Here's a
so.
link to a saving calculator for National Debt Relief website if you want to see how much you could save. So maybe I should have finished
Yeah, man. Yeah,
reading. Sometimes I don't want to spread like bad information, so I try to like.
I saved about 20%,
Okay, so it's around what they said, approximately
28% ish.
off by
Yeah,
even more than.
yeah.
All right. Last but not least, not having a financial advisor. You know why so many rich people have financial advisors? It isn't because they're better at picking stocks. It's because a good financial advisor will help you with all of the bizarro tax implications you never would have thought of. People with financial advisors end up making 3% more per year thanks to better tax planning. If you don't know an advisor personally, use a third-party party comparison site to find somebody with good reviews. They have a wiser advisor as their suggestion, and they say it's solid. I think I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, one of my coworkers actually, this is how they got out of being in a bad place financially. They got a financial advisor who gave them steps to follow, and they did it. And he said it's been smooth sailing ever since. And before there'd be no money left over to do stuff like dates and stuff, but now they almost always have money to do extra stuff on the side besides just pay bills. Yeah, so I'm probably
That's
interested in
cool.
that one.
Yeah,
Our tax person dropped the ball 2 years in a row, so now it's time to switch it up.
yeah. I need to get a tax person. I've been doing my own taxes. I've been getting good tax returns, which means I'm paying too much in taxes generally. But I haven't had to owe, so I feel like I might be doing a good job.
Yeah, I know
I use
somebody.
for anybody in the audience, I use Free Tax USA. It's not it's free for federal filing federal, and then you pay like $12 to file your state taxes. So I pay like $12 a year to my
Mm,
taxes.
I know somebody whose job didn't charge them, didn't take tax out of their check for the whole year, twice in a row. So now they owe a
Wow,
lot of money.
I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
Is it something that they did, like they didn't put on their W
No,
two?
once they saw it happen the first time, they tried to remedy it the second time, and it never happened. And you're not really thinking about like, am I paying taxes unless you actually look at your pay stub every single time. And people do it, some people don't do it. But like, if you're not actively looking, like if it's like an automatic direct deposit every time, you're not gonna pay stub, so you don't really know like, hey, no tax come out. So it's just like, can you blame them? Yes, but can you also see the human side of it? Yes, as well. So, but then the tax
Yeah,
person that they had didn't tell them anything. So it's like, okay, what are you doing? Or what are you not doing?
yeah. What the heck? Last but not least, last mistake people make is using a normal low interest savings account. I'm always shocked at the number of people still using garbage to saving account that pay 0.5% or less a year. There are literally hundreds of banks that will pay you 8 times that, usually 10 times that,
Wait, you said 0.5 or 0.05?
0.5%.
Oh, okay, okay. 0.005. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they give a link to a bunch of options, which I think I'm gonna try. I'm currently using Ally, which is a supposedly high one, but I've seen that there are ones that are higher, and I'm considering changing. It's just that I don't want to have to go through all the paperwork of doing all that.
Yeah.
Another thing I'm thinking about doing is doing a credit union.
Mhm.
I've heard that those are good to open. So I might have like a credit union account and a savings account separately.
Yeah, it's just that in this economy and this time, it's hard for anybody I know to actually have a savings account. It's like it's rare because
Yeah,
everything costs so much, and you're already caught up in so many things. Whether you get married into it or it's like emergencies come up, it's like saving is really, really hard.
it is. And I would say this. So if you have no credit card debt, then I have advice for you. If you do have credit card debt, then I have separate advice. So for people with no credit card debt, my advice is to purchase everything with credit cards. That sounds crazy, but let me explain. One, only purchase things that you can actually afford currently. Don't ever use a credit card to buy stuff that you can't afford currently. Two, put the money aside when you buy the thing with your credit card, put that money aside into your high yield savings account. So as you buy, you put the money aside. As you buy, you put the money aside. Three, you wait for the bill. When the bill comes, it's going to be, let's say, $4,000. Well, once that bill comes, all that money you put aside, it should equal $4,000. You take all that money, you pay the bill in full, you're done. And basically, the benefits of this is one, you keep your money longer, so your money's collecting interest while it's in a high saving yield savings account. Two, if you look at any rich person, what they say, never use your own money, always use someone else's money. That's basically what you're doing when you use a credit card. You're also getting all the perks from the credit card. You're getting that 2% off or 1% or whatever. So technically, you have a 1% discount on every single thing you buy when you use your credit card. And then last thing is you're paying in full. So you never owe those high fees that people complain about when they have credit cards. You never have to pay that if you pay it in full every single time.
A question.
Now, yeah, go ahead.
Will you actually get interest in like a month?
Yeah, because well, at least for my savings account, it's compounded daily.
Daily. Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's just that they pay you all if they pay you out once a week, but is compounded daily. Because I
Okay.
did an experiment where I put the money in right before the day was due, like right before I collect interest, and I didn't see me gain more interest. But when I started putting the money in as soon as I got it, I saw I was getting more interest.
Okay.
So that's how I like figured it out.
Understood.
Okay, so now advice for people with credit cards who currently have a balance. My advice is to treat them just like you would treat any loan. Pay above the minimum as much as you can and try to be consistent with it. If you only pay the minimum, you're going to end up paying way more than how much you borrowed because of how high their interest rates are. So what you want to do, if you could only afford like $1 over, that's still better than paying the exact amount. So I would suggest just trying to pay it off as soon as you can. Don't use a credit card at all if you can. Again, you shouldn't be using a credit card to buy things you can't afford anyway. So don't use your credit card, just pay it off. Once it's paid off, then you can implement what I suggested previously. And I think that should work. It does take a long time. I know a few people in my life who have credit card debt, and it just seems like a never ending thing because you feel like you're making good progress. And then you look at your bill and it's like you barely chipped away at it. And that's why I suggest not using a credit card anymore because at least one person I know, they still use their credit card while they had the debt being paid off. And it's like, it doesn't. So, how the credit card works is the debt that you have, the new purchases don't really add on to that per se. But what happens is because you're paying this old debt, you're not going to be able to pay this off. So then this just gets added into it after that billing cycle is
Yep,
rolled
yep,
over.
yep.
So then it does like add on eventually. It doesn't add on in the moment that you bought it, but it does add on once the billing cycle is over.
I
So
feel
that's why it seems never ending.
sorry, I feel like a lot of these interest rates are predatory, man. Like
They are.
we our bed sets that we bought, we're gonna try and pay it off. You know, new couple, try and get stuff together, try and start a new life, whatever. We're paying this
Yeah.
company, I'll use a random number, $200 a month to, as a minimum. Guess what the interest rate was? Guess what the interest amount was?
I hope not more than 3%.
$200. So like, what am I paying?
Wait, wait, what?
What am I
Wait,
actually paying?
you just paying pure interest alone.
It's crazy what some people do. It's crazy. It shouldn't be allowed.
That's
Like,
me on student loans.
yeah, it shouldn't be allowed because it's like you're offering. Well, no, well, this is a company. It's not a credit card. So you're offering people to pay off their things in time, rent to own. Why are you being so mean? You don't get your money regardless. They're paying you. If they're not paying you, then you
Yeah,
start increasing the interest. But don't like I'm basically paying twice. Like I'm buying two things, but I'm not. I'm buying one thing, but I'm getting charged the same rate as interest as the payment. So it's like, why would I even pay you at all?
right. I, yeah, I would 100% suggest people never ever use rent to own
Yeah.
because I actually know I had a friend who used to work for them and they are predatory 100%. They do it on purpose.
But you know who they're
It's not
going
a mistake.
after, not to segue from
Yep.
our positiveness, but you know who they're really going after. And it's not even
Yep.
let's say the low income people. That's what they're going after because like, hey, I need, and it doesn't have to be anything like TVs or radios. It could actually be like, hey, I need a fridge to keep my food cold. Here's a
Yep.
fridge. You could pay us back in time. It's all good. It's Gucci. All right. Now, boom, boom, boom. Hey, that fridge you have, give me back. No, you lost money because you try and pay the payments, and you lose the fridge.
Yep. Yeah, it's very predatory. And that's a big part of their business is making sure people can't pay it back so they could get back the product so they could sell it again.
That's insane,
And
man.
I actually have something that I think could help. I found this website called Affirm. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
and they offer no interest loans, and they actually allow you to pay off within like several years. Most like for instance, when I bought my wife's wedding ring, most loans I've seen with no interest is like you have to pay it off within 12 months before they start adding interest. This one is like, how long you think you need?
That's good.
All right, bet. Yeah, so I really like Affirm for that. I'm thinking to use it to buy like an airplane ticket. I have to travel soon, so I'm gonna use it to buy my airplane ticket because that's my biggest qualm is like airplane tickets cost so much, and like I have to pay all at once.
Yeah.
So I feel it. If I could pay it off over time, and the good thing, one thing I starting to realize right now is like paying things off over time actually benefits you because then you pay a small fee and it doesn't hurt your pockets in like in the short run.
Yeah.
Because if I had to pay, let's say $1,000, right? That's $1,000 gone. I can't buy groceries now.
Yep.
But if I could pay $50, I still have $950 to buy groceries.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think Affirm is a good site for people. Rent to own is a bad idea. Never do rent to own. If you already did it before, you learn the lesson the hard way, basically, and that
Yeah.
sucks.
Well,
It
nah,
just
just
seems like, oh, there's a yeah, exactly. If y'all watch Wednesday's episode, you'll understand that joke. I was gonna say something else though.
yeah,
There's
go ahead.
another thing that's predatory out there. Um, Cash advance. Those
Mm, maybe. Because I use it and it's okay.
you, I don't really understand it. Do you have to pay them back, or how does it work?
You can do a one time. So you borrow 500, you pay 500 and plus the fees. Or you can do installments where you borrow $1,000 and then for the next 5 paychecks they take out a certain amount. And you are paying back
Okay.
a little bit more, but I see it as I'm paying you to, get this money. So for me it's okay because I can always handle it and I can always budget around it.
Okay. Okay.
But if you absolutely
All right.
can't, then it's like you probably shouldn't be doing it at all. So I think the
Yeah.
story, not story, the lesson here is to just like before you do anything, make sure it's something that you're able to pay back or able to handle. Otherwise, it don't make any sense
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah. And I suggest budgeting as well. By the way, I have a better budget template to send you.
Okay.
So remember I sent you a budget template before?
Yes.
I found the original document
Mm.
and I literally look at it. I was like, my budget has evolved so much from this original document that now I understand. Like when I sent to my mom was so confused. She was like, "What the heck is this?" I was like, "This makes sense to me because I
You're the
have
one
been
in it.
working with it and
Yeah.
evolving it over time. So of
Yeah.
course it makes sense to me." So I think I'm gonna send you and her the original document because the original document is just like simple. It's just like
Yeah.
I should have just sent that one. I didn't think to look back at the time.
No problem, man.
But anyway, guys, that's the end of the episode. Hopefully, your credit card debt is getting worked on and you are not fucked. I mean, peace.
Peace.